have 2 to 3 minutes to do their evaluation. At 2 minutes, the light will go to green. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, it will go to yellow. At 3 minutes, it goes to red and stays, and they have until 30 minutes after, and it stays red. 30 seconds, sorry. And we ask, these are purely the evaluator's opinion, so we ask that you not clap after the evaluation. First up, we have the evaluator for our first speech, Mr. Horace Freak.
Evaluating effectively, Ms. Ali Walker. How effective was the speaker's introduction in helping the audience understand the purpose of the Better Speaker series and the presentation itself? I believe that it would have helped us more if you could have perhaps introduced a little bit about what the Better Speaker series was all about, and then tie that in with your speech. Was the presenter adequately prepared? How heavily did the presenter allow notes or the script itself? I believe you were definitely prepared for your speech. I saw some reliance on the notes. Specifically, there were times when you would be speaking and then you would look down at your notes and perhaps read a section of that. How did the speaker use vocal variety to enhance the scripted presentation? I didn't hear a lot of variety. Perhaps if you had even started out, evaluate to motivate, or to kind of give an uplift beat there. What other techniques did the speaker use to personalize and augment the presentation? Were they effective and how? As you spoke about your own experiences, I think that perhaps made it more personal for yourself, especially when you began to talk about you being from the country and the country away, and the rubber meets the road, as well as how some people have impacted you during the evaluations. Did the speaker display the visuals smoothly and at the appropriate time? How could the speaker improve? You did. I thought it was rather unique to hold the cards up. However, I believe that if you had moved out into the audience a little closer, perhaps, and then put those in front of you, it might have given them an opportunity to read them better. Or perhaps even better was to have them, as Jonathan had these notes up, and have larger letters, especially with the different colors in the writing. What aspect of the speaker's presentation did you find unique? I just went over that. Did the speaker present the material clearly and simply so our audience members could easily use the information to improve their own speeches? Yes, by giving us an idea of what evaluators could be looking for, hopefully the speaker themselves will be more aware of this and try to do a better job. What could you have done differently? Again, I believe if you had perhaps had your comments on the board, pointing to them, it would have given us a better effect. What did you like about the presentation? I believe what I enjoyed about it mostly was how it caused me, or how you espoused me to evaluate individuals closer, to motivate them, as well as to help them improve with each and every speech that they give.
Next, I call Ms. Jamie Davis to evaluate our second speaker, Mr. Jonathan Moore.
Good evening. That's what I was going to say something. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Tonight I'm evaluating Toastmaster Jonathan Moy, and as usual, it is always a pleasure to evaluate you. And I say that wholeheartedly. It is always a pleasure to not only evaluate, but to listen to Toastmaster Moy. He's usually very informative as well as entertaining. He's easy to listen to. According to his evaluation guide, there were a few objectives he should have met on tonight. First, I want to look at the material. One of his strongest points was in how he delivered his speech. He was very familiar with this topic, which in fact gave clarity to many listeners who were planning to run for an office come the beginning of June. You walked away understanding what the role actually required of you. Another strong area of his speech was in how he related the information to specific people in our club. For example, Mr. Mike Norman. He talked about the great job that he's doing as VP of membership. Not only did he bring Mike into his speech, but he encouraged Tim Ing to run for that office by, again, not only acknowledging him, but at the same time talking about the job that he's already done in learning how to perform the actual role. So I would definitely say his technique, Jonathan's technique, was good and it was effective. Now, as far as his preparation, Jonathan's preparation for the speech was good, but I do believe he could have been a little better. The information he presented was great, but his body language seemed to be a little too casual in his speech. Again, his speech was very informative, but you didn't always get that in the way that he communicated the actual points of his speech. What I would ask him to do to improve on this particular speech, I would like to see him possibly do more with his visual aids. We had information on our tables, but I believe he referenced them towards the end. So it would have been good if he said something more about it so we could kind of follow along during the speech. So I think that would have been also a plus if he would have incorporated that more in his speech. Last, what did I like about the presentation? As usual, all listeners that come to hear anything Jonathan has to say, you walk away informed. There's never a time that he stands up here and delivers any bit of information that you walk away not having any clarity on what he just spoke on. And so that's one of the things that I liked about this speech in particular was how much information we gained, and again, how encouraging he was for those who are planning to run. But as I said before, it's always a pleasure to listen to Toastmaster Moy deliver a speech because, again, we walk away informed and entertained. Thank you. That's evaluating.
Could we have the times for the evaluations?
Morris Brayton, 3 minutes, 39 seconds. Jamie Davis, 3 minutes, 20 seconds.
You take,
Did you say 3:31?
3:49.
3:39 and 3:20.
okay.
Red light never came on.
Oh,
Red light never came on.
Technical.
Switched it.
Let's just vote. Let's
Okay.
vote. We will vote.
Okay, if you take a moment to cast your vote for the best evaluator. And while you do that, I'll make my general evaluation. The meeting overall went very well. It started on time, I believe.
We were 1 minute.
Maybe a few seconds. I like the way that Francis brought Valerie up to talk about her speech at her job. Let her give a report of what happened at her job with her speech. Fran kept the meeting very upbeat, especially during the speech portion where the speeches were a little long, that people could have espoused an attitude of disinterest or laziness or not paying attention to the speakers, but she kept it upbeat, kept it moving along, and I also like that the speeches were very informative. They were relative, so they did keep our interest, and we didn't wander off. We were trying to understand and get more information about what was being said. I thank Tim for lightening up the mood with his pet peeve table topic. Mike for doing a good job with keeping the time, and Renee for collecting our votes. Thank you. And now I will return control to our Toastmaster, Ms. Francis Powell.